Okay, so the first thing when proofing, file, open, new template. We're always going to pick the one with threaded. We do have the other one here, but this one's that's most used. So we're going to make a new one. So this is the proofing in here. So this is where I like to, so we'll keep this one artboard, and then within the same, what is this document? I'm going to also create the full-scale artwork as well. So I'll pull up what this job is. I'm just dragging and dropping from the File Explorer, which is just, you know, the folders. I'll show you. Well, it's thinking because it's a big file. So that's dropped in. But, so we're going to adjust the size of this to be what we need, which we will find within here, right? So we know that it's a 4 foot by 12 foot banner, and then we can see all the other details down here. So we'll go back to Illustrator, and then we'll make those adjustments. So it's 12, so it's 144 inches by 48 inches. So then I'm hitting F8 on my keyboard. Because that makes it so that it centers within it. And then I'm also going to hit Alt F, then R, then 1, and that's going to bring up this menu, which is how I am setting the sizes of everything. So top and left, I can leave that alone because I tend to override that anyway with our in-house font. So I'll do that in a second. So there they are, and it creates a whole separate layer. I'm going to unlock it so that I can adjust it. So I usually just kind of switch arrows to the direct selection arrow. Tap while holding shift, and then tap the other one. And then for me, I have a action set for to make it so that it has our standard font. So that's what I have. So, and I usually get this about the right size that we need, and then just try to roughly center it up. What I hit to make that stuff disappear is tab, and that makes everything disappear. And then you just tap it again to bring it back. So, okay. So we now have these. We could change the color if we want. So we can make them black, or we can leave them blue. For this one, I'm just gonna leave them blue. So I'm selecting everything up here, and I usually like to hold Alt, make a second copy of it. It doesn't matter where you put it because I'm going to then hit Control G, and then we want it to land here. So I'm going to tap the artboard because, did you see how it highlighted? It's going to drop, so it drops it into this one. Now I can hit F12 on my keyboard. Whenever you see this menu, just hit continue, and then it will shrink it down. Sorry. There we go. Usually you can just go through those menus and it eventually just works and does what it needs to do. So typically you just need to hit F8. This is just a big file, so I think it's just hesitating. So then next step is to fill in all this information that's in the proof itself before we can send it. So I'm opening this up in Corebridge. The way that we got here is usually through the design queue, or let's do it that way, so that way it's, you can see design, and you can either scroll through here and find it, or I like to just type it in here. So then once you click into here, it automatically opens you into here. So I'm just clicking anywhere on the back, and then I'm hitting Control A and Control C, and then going back to, well, not back to, I'm now going into Claude. I use this thing called Operations Assistant. We'll find the right one for you, and then I do Proof Ops, and then Control V. And then submit it, and then it's going to spit out everything that we need to copy and paste. And then you should click here, and then once you see it, the box check, that's when you know that it's it has it. So see, there you go. Flip it over. So then tap into here. Right now it's the direct select. So there's a couple ways to do this. You can just double click into it, or you can switch, and that automatically switches you to the type tool, or you can just hit the T on the keyboard and that switches it over too. So then here you hit Control A so it selects everything, and then I Control V to paste over top of it. Then we switch over to this one, and we can just grab this one, or we can grab them both at the same time. So see how I copied? There's a way to access them both using, oh, it's not going to let me do it right now. I'll show you that another time then. So copy. Illustrator. I tapped into here, I hit T and just like clicked it, and then did Control A again and Control V, and that auto fills all of this with the information that we need. We're not done yet, we have to look here. We're not going to, oh, and the way that I did that is what did I do? I hit Z and then just kind of dragged, or you can hit Control, Control plus or minus is what makes it so you can zoom in and out. So we're not installing or shipping, so we're just selecting those, deleting them. I usually just select both of these, and then I'll hit Shift X, because what that does is it switches the stroke to fill, because both of those are no. So now this is what we see, and we're going to hit F3, and that's going to export the proof onto the desktop. And then we can go back to Corebridge, and then on the desktop should have it, open, and then upload. And once it's uploaded onto here, do a final check to make sure it looks good for the customer. I like to come in here and then I zoom in and out using my scroll on my mouse, make sure everything's here. Version's right, this is all adjusted, and then it reads correctly. Which it does, so we're going to X out of it, and then we're going to go to awaiting proof approval, and then we'll send it off to the customer. I also like to include the invoice number in the subject line, because it just makes it easier for when they do reply for us to grab this number in our emails to then research it. So we don't need to change anything in here. This auto populates in here, and then we just hit send. And that's how we do proof.